One, Mitt Romney needs an image makeover, don't you think? He's becoming the cartoon character Richie Rich. This week it came out that his California home out there that he's building will have an elevator in it, which is pretty ritzy to begin with. But this elevator is for cars. He even has his own lobbyist out there to allow him to expand massively the footprint of his house. Plus, Romney's making jokes about how his dad closed down a factory in Michigan. Isn't that a hoot? Just how does he spin, or anybody spin, this guy's image? Topic number 2 in this section. Wisconsin may be the last big state where Rick Santorum can prove he's still a credible challenger to Romney, and Gingrich is already scaling back his campaign. One of them seems to be going to zoos now, and then the other one's going to bowling alleys. What is up with these guys? To answer the questions, we have the hardball strategist, Democrat Steve McMahon, who's waiting somewhere, and John Ferry, the Republican, is right before me. To start it off with, we go to McMahon for the easy opportunity, the easy picking. This guy has designed a house. Yes, he's designed a house which includes an elevator for cars. Now, I'm not sure what you use an elevator for cars, but he wants one. Is this going to suggest that he's either building a giant consolation prize if he loses, or this is where the Western White House is going to be housed?
Well, you remember, Chris, his wife drives a Cadillac, actually a couple of them, and he drives a pickup truck and something else. So when you have that many cars, you have to have a place to put them. And then when you build on the side of a mountain, I presume you need an elevator, especially if you have that many cars. So you're absolutely right. This reinforces a negative image about Mitt Romney. And every time he opens his mouth to make a joke or even to say something serious, he seems to be making a laughingstock of himself. And it's going to be difficult for him to recover. And it's why his numbers in the 12 battleground states are upside down. He's got about a net negative 30 rating in favorable, unfavorable, and no one has ever recovered from that.
Luckily, we have a spin artist here. We have a spin artist. John, how do you spin this, baby? You got a candidate here that's a bit of a cartoon. Richie Rich.
Well, it is right now. You know, I think that as we get past the primary and into the general election, he's going to have to gracefully transition to a more general election candidate. He's got to focus on his record.
What about his house with the elevator in it? You know, going to dump that plan? Would you have him dump that plan?
I'm shocked that someone running for president would have wealth. I mean, most of our presidents have had wealth.
Would you tell him to get rid of the elevator?
I don't think this is the issue.
Of course he would.
People don't care.
Of course he would.
People don't care about that.
He would.
They care about his record.
John,
they care about his record as governor. What did he do? Did he actually make it more efficient? Did he cut spending? Yes, he did. Did he bring it down?
Why wouldn't you? Look,
he's got to focus on his record.
You're being mocked, by the way, by McMahon, who says that you were just BSing us, that you really would tell him to
John's
get rid of the elevator.
a great strategist. John is a great strategist, and he absolutely would tell him to get rid of the elevator. He just can't say it right now. Right, John?
Okay, like this is what's happening. Last night, this guy, I do have touted this guy, and it wasn't just Todd Harris. I have been touting Rubio, too, because I watched him on TV. He is a smart guy of the future. He has now finally endorsed Romney. Doesn't have much choice on Fox, but he wasn't exactly screaming with excitement or joy. Listen to this somewhat restrained endorsement from the future of the Republican Party.
I am going to endorse Mitt Romney, and the reason why is not only because he's going to be the Republican nominee, but he offers at this point such a stark contrast to the president's record.
So we're stuck with him, and the president stinks. Therefore, I love this guy.
Well, actually,
I mean, think that through. What did he say?
If you actually watch that whole segment, he actually endorsed him very heartily. And the fact of the matter is that Marco Rubio would make a great
Okay, here we go. Let's switch to the topic. What do you think of that endorsement, Steve?
I thought it was tepid at best. It actually sounded a little bit like future tense. I am going to endorse Mitt Romney. He is going to be the nominee. It didn't sound as full-throated as you would expect or hope if you're Mitt Romney.
Let me ask you about the Republican fight. Is Romney your nominee?
Yes.
Okay, what's the role now being played positively by Santorum, who is very good at bowling? He got 3 strikes in a row. I didn't know you called it a turkey. It's a turkey. And he's good at it. He wants to challenge Romney to a bowling match, which is fine with me, but it doesn't go to prove nothing because it'll just prove that one guy's a working-class guy and the other guy's an elitist. But then again, the president comes off that way, too. Right. Would you like to see a bowling match between these guys?
Santorum and Gingrich have the same role as the Washington Generals against the Harlem Globetrotters. You know, they're going to get, they're going to continue to get beat. I think the fact of the matter is that Santorum will keep winning southern states if there are any left, which I don't think there are. And at the end of the day, Romney is going to win.
Now, let me go back over this. I love references to the Washington Generals because those were the guys that played the Globetrotters and always lost. Right? In fact, they regularly lost about 15 points. I think that was the deal. Who's the Washington Generals here and who's the Globetrotters in your match?
Newt Gingrich is the Washington Generals and Mitt Romney is.
Well, why is he running?
I think that he ran because he believes that in ideas, and he thinks that he could carry on his ideas. But I think right now there's a kind of
what about the meeting between these? There was a summit meeting recently this week between the two, between Romney. Is this to keep? Here's my conspiratorial mind thinking and speaking, because I want Steve to respond to this. Do you think that Romney's keeping Gingrich in the race just to make sure there's no chance of a breakout by Santorum, or is that an old strategy that's been disbanded?
I actually think that's an old strategy. Here's what I think is going on. These guys can do the math, and Mitt Romney can do the math. Romney will tell you all day long why Rick Santorum and Newt Gingrich and Ron Paul, for that matter, cannot possibly get the delegates by the convention that would secure them the nomination. But the dirty little secret here, and we've talked about this before, Chris, is that Mitt Romney can't either. He's going to go into the convention without enough delegates, and Newt Gingrich understands that if the convention delegates were ever released to vote their conscience, they wouldn't vote for the flip-flopping moderate from Massachusetts, the godfather of health care reform.
They
would vote for a conservative.
They
would vote for a conservative candidate. Maybe somebody who's not running.
My assumption, no, that's not good.
That was
Romney's going to get
that was spin, Steve. Steve, that was spin.
These types of meetings are usually, Chris, they're usually about paying off campaign debt, and I think that's what. I know they always deny it, but my guess is.
Do you think he'll forgive Mitt Romney those attacks on him, that bombing that went on in Iowa that destroyed him, all that negative adadvertising? Machiavelli says that people never forgive in politics; they always remember. You can never count on a politician.
Remember, but you know what buys a lot of goodwill? Paying off campaign debt.
What about the VP thing with Santorum? I want to get to a couple of points to Santorum. Is there a chance Santorum's on the ticket?
I don't think so.
Okay, let's take a look. Sheldon Adelson, we've watched this guy. He's an older gentleman. He's made a lot of money in the casino business. He says now it's time for Gingrich to pack it up. Let's watch him. He's been the guy bankrolling in the tens of millions of dollars with super PAC money for Newt Gingrich. He's now said, time's up, vacate the premises. Let's watch.
I'm in favor of Newt Gingrich because I like people who make decisions. He's a decision maker. It appears as though he's at the end of his line. Because, I mean, mathematically, he can't get anywhere near the numbers, and it's not unlikely to be a brokered convention.
Well, Steve, this guy and John, this guy knows numbers. I bet he's beat the Chinese in the casino business. I'd say he's pretty good at it. In fact, they invite him into Macau to put up these casinos. What's it mean that he doesn't have any more banker? He's lost Adelson. Newt.
Well, I think what it means is, this is why Newt Gingrich is now charging people $50 to have their picture taken with him, because Sheldon's not there anymore to provide the bankroll that lets the campaign go on. And I think this is a problem for Gingrich in terms of finding a last stand anywhere.
Well, how many pictures does Adelson get? I figured Adelson's paid for a hell of a lot of pictures by now with 15 million
bucks. That's not very much. Usually it's about $1,000 a picture. I don't know. That's not very much to me.
I think you might want your picture taken with Newt, so you'd look good. Anyway, just kidding, Newt. Anyway, good luck. I guess he's out of the race. We like him in the race. Steve McMahon, John Ferry, sporting achievement here. Lots of spin on both sides, Steve. I must say you were guilty of some of it.